Hi guys, it's Actual Mono. How's everyone doing? Good, good, good. I hope. Today I'm reviewing Chanel No. 5. Bleh. This is the first ever flanker of Chanel No. 5 that I've ever reviewed. There are a handful on the market, and this is the only one I've actually tried. Possibly I've tried Au Premiere, but that was a long time ago and it's erased from my memory. Anyway, I didn't dress up guys today, sorry. My favourite shirt and my best shirt is actually in quarantine. So I received this lovely sample from a lovely friend in the fragrance community, as well as this tiny bottle of this perfume, which is probably so small that you can't even see it on camera. It's the tiniest bottle of perfume I've ever seen. I also received a sample, which I've been wearing, so I wanted to review this one. There are good points about this fragrance, and there are bad ones too, and I'm about to tell you what they are. So this one came out in 2016. It was made by Olivier Polge, really famous perfumer. Is it Polgay? Who can tell? And this is a reinvention of the original. It is bringing the original fragrance into the noughties, into the 2000s. I think it was aimed at a much younger market. It's a fresher take on the classic, most famous perfume, so they say, in the world, which was very ylang ylang heavy, very aldehyde prominent, and also kind of animalic and kind of dark and powdery and a little bit fusty. It took me so many years to actually muster up the courage to review that one, and I did. But for now, let me give you the notes of this one. This is an eau de toilette version, or it's just an eau de toilette perfume. It's not even a version, it's an eau de toilette, full stop. The top notes are lemon, mandarin, and aldehydes. The aldehydes are a nod to the original. The aldehydes are what make the original kind of what it is, and it was one of the most prominent notes. It's one of the most famous aldehydic perfumes that exist. What are aldehydes, might you ask? Aldehydes are a material that perfumers put into a fragrance to give a fragrance sparkle and a soapiness, and depending on the type of aldehyde that it is a soapy, buttery, kind of golden type smell, along with loads of flowers and stuff like that. So there's aldehydes in here too. The heart notes are Rose de Maille from the south of France, jasmine, and then ylang ylang, which they have fractioned. They say it's a fraction of ylang ylang, so they've kind of split it apart and taken an element out of it, kind of like what État Libre d'Orange did with patchouli. They fractioned it, took a part out of it and called it Akigala wood. I don't know, perfumers chop, change, slice and dice things at will. Base notes are vetiver, cedar and white musk. So let's talk about the positives and let's talk about how it smells. I'm going to respray it on this hand. I've nearly finished the sample. This is going to be the last sprays that I have. So, plus points and how does it smell? There is no denying that this is a very, very beautiful perfume. It's so pretty. That's the only way I can describe it. It definitely is like somebody has taken the original Chanel No. 5 and injected air into it. It's like it's got a puff of effervescence going through the entire formula. This one is more focused on citruses in the opening, and the citruses and aldehydes together in this make for a really good combination. The aldehydes are taken down a few notches. It's not so aldehyde prominent like the original. And if I can put it into colour, the original aldehydes were golden and deep and soapy, and they had a lot of depth, and this one is more kind of like a pale, dusky yellow type aldehyde. Paired together with citrus, it works together so well because the aldehydes make the citruses feel a bit silky, and it's like sherbet. There is a fizzy prettiness going on in the opening that is light, kind of tender, and it's just very, very beautiful in the opening. It's clean as well, really not aggressive, and just something that feels like you might want to just wear a lot of it, and you kind of have to, but I'll get onto that in a second. They mention in so many places that this has rose de mai in it. You know, it's a famous rose that only grows in the south of France, and I wouldn't necessarily put this as being a rose fragrance at all. I wouldn't even call it being a jasmine fragrance. Would I say it's ylang? Yes, but it's kind of like a long lost related sister to ylang ylang, because ylang ylang being one of my favourite flowers, I'm very familiar with it. It's kind of medicinal and really thick smelling and fatty smelling and really, really beautiful. And this is like an altogether lighter ylang ylang note with powdery, silky, citrusy aldehydes, and it's very, very beautiful. Olivier Polgay did a really good job here. Apparently he took every single element of the original formula and broke it up and sniffed them all individually and then pieced it back together in a new way. The pieces of the puzzle. So it's great. The opening's great. I can smell it quite a lot. It's not like it's hidden or anything like that. And then we come to the ever so slightly subtle change. Of course, citruses being citruses, they back off, they disappear a little bit, and this is where it becomes a powdery floral musk. The floral is quite difficult to describe because, like I said, it's not a rose, it's not a jasmine, and it's kind of something like ylang ylang, but it's not as heavy or as obvious as any of those things. It feels almost like a fantasy flower, like it could be something like freesia, even though freesia's not a fantasy, but it feels like other flowers. I don't know, there's other floral notes going on in here, other molecules they've put in to give it a semi-fresh flowery feeling, and all the while having these aldehydes that are just coating it in this beautiful sherbety sparkle, and it's really nice. It's a kind of subtle transition, but it's there. So here is where it still retains a fizzy kind of feeling the whole time, but it goes more floral and kind of white musky when it dries. So, on to the bad parts. The worst part about this fragrance is the performance. It's such a shame because there's no denying that it's so beautiful, but this thing probably lasts about 3 hours on me. I find myself reaching for it after that time. I really have to do this to feel it after. This has been on here for 2 hours and I can still smell it quite faintly, but it becomes a skin scent really, really quickly. So to me it kind of acts as more like a body mist, and you know, Chanel fragrances aren't the cheapest fragrances in the world, but if you're prepared to pay the money and you like the smell of it and you don't mind just lavishing yourself or, you know, topping up every now and then, maybe this one's going to be for you. But for me it's 3 or 4 hours maximum, and that's a real big downside because it smells great. Consider this though. A friend of mine once said, sometimes you just want a fragrance that's going to take you from breakfast to lunch while you're just basic bitching around the house. Maybe this is going to be that fragrance, you know? You don't want to commit to an all day long fragrance, so maybe that's what this is, if you can afford it and are prepared to do that. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say really. Plus side, the beauty, the prettiness, how pleasant it smells. Downside, performance, not good at all, and that's a shame, but it still retains, you know, something that has that Chanel magic about it, which is what I talk about in Chanel reviews when I do them. And do I like it? Yes. Would I buy it? No. Anyway, I hope you guys are staying safe and sane, and sorry it's taken me a little while to do a video. It's been a week, but yeah, I plan to do more. Anyway, love all you guys, and I'm Arch Romano, trying to make the world smell better, one video at a time. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.